A year ago, during Vita, I did a gender tag redo, and the year before that, in Vetis, I did the gender tag for the first time, and I feel like having one every year might be helpful to me, because my experience with gender and sexuality and labels and blah 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 has been quite up and down. It's ever evolving, it's ever changing, and some of the things that I said last time aren't relevant anymore. So keeping some sort of record of that is kind of the basis of this YouTube channel. So I'm going to redo it today. As before, the questions will be down below. My original videos will be linked down below, and the original video where the Vita tag, the gender tag comes from will also be linked down below if I can find it. I'm pretty sure it's in one of the original descriptions. So I'm going to run through the questions and tell you what the thing is. What's the stitch? Stitch. For a very long time I didn't know that meant situation, so thanks Kim Possible. Okay, so 1. How do you self-identify your gender, and what does that definition mean to you? So when I first made these videos before, the last two, I was identifying as agender, and now I've kind of come to the point where I identify more broadly. I identify as non-binary, and I would say that there is an element of agenderness in me, that is a part of who I am, but it's not my whole encompassed experience of gender. So I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm not completely nothing, but I am somewhat nothing. What pronouns honor you? So this is something that hasn't changed since last year. They, them is still my pronouns, so refer to me using they, them pronouns, please. I think it was 2 years since I started using they, them pronouns. In 2 years. Yeah, because it was 2015. 2 years since I started using they, them pronouns. A couple of days ago, 2 years nearly. So, it's been 2 years. Can you please use them? Describe the style of clothing you most often wear. Anything that sits above my stomach and crop tops, and mostly pajamas. That hasn't changed. I like dresses, I like skirts, I like jeans. There isn't a certain style, because a lot of my style kind of doesn't apply to each other. Like, I wear dark colours, I wear light colours, I kind of wear everything. 4. Talk about your choices with body hair. How do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? What do you choose to shave or not to shave? It's been, I think the last time I shaved my legs was in October. So I have hairy legs and I'm very proud of them. It is summer at the moment, so the weather's been quite up and down. But when it's been really hot, I've been getting my legs out, my hairy ass legs, and I don't feel any sort of shame. So don't shame me because I don't want to fucking shave my legs. I periodically shave my underarms. If I have the energy, I'll do it, but if not, then it's fine. I shave my face, which is something I didn't bring up last time. I shaved the sides of my face, which I did last night, and I shaved my upper lip. Obviously my style, my choices with hair is very clear. It's green, it's quite short. It's nearly a year since I dyed my hair. It's the 22nd or 23rd that I dyed my hair. Or no, the 21st or the 22nd. It's been nearly a year that I've had Shrek pubes, or Grinch pubes, or any green character's pubes. 5. Talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What types of soaps and perfumes do you use? I wear makeup, evidenced by the fact that I'm wearing makeup right now, and that 2 days ago I put up a video of me doing my makeup. I like makeup. I really, really like makeup. It gives me something to do. It feels good to spend time on myself and to bring forward the attributes that I like and maybe recess the ones that I don't. That gives me a lot of sense of power and safety, almost. I bite my nails, so it's really just not worth it for me to paint them, and I always end up chipping them off. So I've tried reclaiming it. There's just no point in me doing it anymore. I either use Lush products or I use like men's body stuff, because those two are the two things that I fucking love. I love the smell of like Lynx body washes, and then I love the smell of Lush products. Like I cross all the gender lines in gendered beauty products. I don't really give a shit. Like I use perfumes, but if I had cologne that I liked, I would wear it. I use men's deodorants. I wear women's perfume. I wear makeup. I wear I don't really give a shit about who it's marketed towards. If I like it, then I'm gonna use it. So that's my thoughts on that one. Have you experienced being misgendered? So if so, how often? Every damn day of not being online. I think my immediate friend group gender me correctly, and one person in my school friend group, this isn't shade to my school friends who are watching this, one person consistently does it, and the other ones kind of try. I can tell that they're trying, and they use it periodically, but pretty much all the time. And I've kind of come to grips with that. I'm fine. Being non-binary, non-binary people don't have a lot of exposure. The idea of they them pronouns, asking people their pronouns in person, isn't normal yet. So, and I'm not going to be the person who goes, my pronouns are they them. I don't feel comfortable doing that, because sometimes that can put you in situations where you're not safe, and that doesn't make me feel safe, obviously. So I don't do that. But it's something I'm working on. Talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker of any children you may have? I've said this before, I've said it many times. I never want to have kids. At least my own kids. I might have mentioned before that being a surrogate I'd be fine with, but having kids for myself is just, no. It gives me, I'm too anxious as a person. I'm too irresponsible. Well, I'm not even irresponsible. I'm not responsible enough to take care of someone else. The stress would just not be good for me. It would just kill me, having kids and raising them. It would just kill me. But then obviously I said, like, if I were to be a surrogate for someone, or I've thought about donating eggs. I can't do that at the moment, but donating eggs would be something I'm interested in. Being a surrogate, just helping people have kids, but I don't want to have kids for myself. Which is why Repeal the 8th is so important, because people like me who aren't suicide risks or aren't necessarily products of rape or incest, I could never handle having a child. I would have an abortion as soon as possible if I could, if I were pregnant. The stress on me would kill me. I may not be a suicide risk while being pregnant, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to put me at risk later down the line. 9. Talk about money. Is it important to you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Is it important to you that you earn more than any partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? I've said this before, I don't like this question. The idea of wanting to earn more than my partner feels really gross. I don't like the feeling that gives me that if someone were to answer yes, because it kind of imposes this the men are the breadwinner mentality, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. If the person that I end up with ends up being the financial supporter of my life, then so be it. If the vice versa, so be it. I don't want to prioritize one. If we are perfectly level, or we split the bills in the way that's appropriate for our income, that's perfect. That's all I want. I want responsible financial support in my relationships. And for things like dates and stuff, I don't like when people pay for me anyway, whether it be romantically or my friends buying me things. So that makes me uncomfortable, but not because like, oh, like I'm a man and I have to pay for things. Like, I don't like that mentality at all. So yeah, the idea of people paying for me makes me uncomfortable, but the idea of making more than my partner makes me uncomfortable. I just don't like this question. Anything else you want to share about your experience with gender? So like I said at the start, and like I said in the last video, that my experience is ever changing and ever evolving, and it's gone through lots of different incarnations, and changing the way you see yourself isn't wrong, or it doesn't mean you were lying before, or it doesn't mean that your whole identity is like crap, it's all crap. Like, no. Sometimes we have to regress to get to the right place. Sometimes you overshoot completely in regards to self-expression, and sometimes you need to write it in. Sometimes you're just not, you don't have information available to you, and sometimes your experience with gender evolves so that the things that fit perfectly don't fit anymore. So gender is one weird thing where it is, many people's experiences are stagnant, and many people's experiences are fluid, and many people's crawl through a kind of evolution over time. All of those people are valid, and you are valid, and I am valid, and my experiences with gender is valid, because it's fucking nonsense anyway. Gender is stupid, but that's not shade at anyone who finds comfort in gender. I just think that the whole thing in relation to me is kind of stupid in how it's applied in society. But change is unavoidable, and sometimes things you don't expect to change. So if you go through your whole life identifying as one thing and then suddenly you drift off, that's fine, because everybody changes, we all evolve, and sometimes that includes gender. So yeah, hope that was helpful to anybody. That's this video. I hope you have a fantastic day and an awesome veju, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow, and